Hi, this is ronMctube playing Hunter Classic on PC. Today we're doing a pheasant hunting guide for 2020. I thought we'd do a brand new pheasant hunting guide so we know it's current and we know it's working. Now a lot of people are going to be hunting pheasant this weekend because there is a Pheasant Cacciatore Wedding Frenzy competition. Cacciatore, if I pronounced it right, is Italian for hunting. Pheasant hunting wedding frenzy. So that's a competition. You've got to hunt as many pheasants as possible, and it takes place over this weekend. So I thought I'd do an updated guide. Start from here. Let's draw this in so you can't get this wrong. I've done it so basically if you haven't got a tent, you can just walk straight out this lodge, and all you have to do is cover all this area I'm marking out. And if you do that, you'll get pheasants everywhere. And the good thing about this is you can just run around with shotguns and just blast pheasants. It's really simple, fun, and really easy to do. So all you have to do is cover all this area I'm marking. I think this is the simplest guide to getting pheasants and easiest way of getting them. You can go on Loggers Point or you can go on Hirschfelden. It doesn't matter which you do, but I think this is probably the easiest way of doing it, and obviously you don't need a tent to do it, so everyone can take part. You can also use the 12 gauge single shotgun, which is free if you haven't got the M's or the GMS to get one, so that's free. Get one of those and you can hunt these pheasants, so everyone can take part, and it runs over the weekend. There's prizes for the M's and for the trophy shots. This location up the top as well also has a lot of pheasants, but the yellow area marked below is probably the better spot to hunt. You can get pheasants on Loggers Point just as much as Hirschfelden, but Hirschfelden at the first location I've marked is really simple and has a high probability of getting pheasants there all the time. Also the vegetation and how the land is, it's really flat. You can spot the pheasants really easy. So it's a simple, easy way of getting pheasants. That's why I've chose this location that we're going to hunt. Now we've started at 11 AM. I've got the 12 gauge single shot shotgun. This is a free gun, so if you haven't got the currency you can get this. I've also got the 12 gauge semi-automatic with the red dot on. We've got the grasshopper pistol in case they fly a bit further than what the shotgun can cover. But the 12 gauge single shot can down them quite easy, so everyone can take part in this. So I said 11 AM we started. We mainly chose that, and I hunt at that for all species is because of the visibility, the sun, the weather. It's really good. You do get a lot of rain though on Hirschfelden, so if it starts raining it can last a long time, so that's up to you how you want to proceed with that. But here we go. We've got a wild boar. We're not after those, we're after pheasants, but you will get wild boar along this route. You might spot some red deer, maybe some geese flying over, but you will get a lot of pheasants running around. Let's take a look at the competition description, because they're becoming quite detailed and they're trying to make a thing out of that now to pique your interest in the competitions. It says, "Howdy hunters, this week our competition features an interesting request from La Bella Vita, EHR's Italian restaurant. Catch as many pheasants as you can for a chance to win a new trophy." It's never been seen in the Hunter Classic. And there's some hefty prizes in EMS, so you get prizes for winning the comp, placing in the comp, also for taking trophy shots. I will drop in the video description everything to do with this in a link. Click that, have a look at the competition, but you also see it in game. So hopefully we bag some pheasants. We should get quite a few because this does work, and I have been shooting quite a lot recently. I do like pheasant hunting. I've shot some really big ones. I've shot one rare one. I would love to get an albino one or the green ones. I've never had one of those two variations. I have had a melanistic one, but I've not had the albino or the green ones, and that will be right in my trophy lodge as a really highly regarded trophy. I've seen people get them, but I've never had the look of it myself. So, and I've shot some really big pheasants, like 29 pluses. Pheasants mainly go on the weight and the length of the tail. So when you see something that's say 2.7 kilo or above, they go up to like 3 kilo max, and it's got a long tail, you know it's going to be a high scorer. 2.7 after 3, you know it's going to be 27 to 30 in scoring. So that's how it kind of works. So you're looking for the heaviest pheasant with the longest tail. You'll know when you see him because he'll look 3 times as big as the normal ones you're seeing. Mostly they're about 1.7 kilo to about 2 kilo, most of the males, and then you've got a lot of the small females. Ideally, if you want leaderboard entries, you need them in the air. So don't shoot really big pheasants on the ground because they won't count on a leaderboard. Some people won't be bothered about that, but if you're after getting on the leaderboards and it's a really big pheasant, like I say, make sure they're in the air or they won't count. Right. So as you see on our left, we've seen some pheasants. What you want to do is, if you look, there's like these little raised bits in between the fields where they join. So just have a look on the fields as you run round and try and link them up. Remember where the pheasants are as you're running round, and then try and sort of work a pattern how you're going to shoot them. Normally you can shoot a couple, and if they're on the other fields on the right or left, they probably won't fly. So don't worry about that. As you can see, plenty of wild boar about. I've got my feeder in that field and it is really good. I have done a wild boar hunting guide. If you want to see that, check it out. Got lots of other hunting guides, and if you want to see any new hunting guides, drop it in the comments for the Hunter Classic or the Hunter Call Wild. I'm always making them based mainly on what's requested and what's wanted and what's in fashion at the time. You know what I mean, what's current and what people are hunting for. I'm also doing it linked up to what competitions are going off with the Hunter Classic at the moment, because each week over the weekend there is a series of competitions, so I'm doing guides to coincide with those, so that way everyone knows how to hunt a certain species. And obviously with doing new guides, you know the current and they work. So as you can see, you can walk straight up to these pheasants. Unless it's a really big pheasant, most of the time they won't spook unless you literally step on them. So there's the 12 gauge single shot. This is the free shotgun. Here we go. Now some people may struggle with getting the lead right on them. Logger's Point has a clay pigeon shooting range which you can go and practice on and hit a few of those, and it may help you learn how to lead the shotgun. Or you can just come and hunt pheasants and just practice hunting them. That's probably one of the better ways to just get used to hunting them. But there we can see our first pheasant. It's only a 21. The real big ones, and you see the A, that means I shot it in the air. The real big pheasant score up to 30. So if you're looking for a big trophy pheasant, 27 plus, ideally 28 plus, but 27 is still quite a nice looking bird. So we took a trophy shot there. I edited that out because it took about 10 minutes to get that trophy shot. But they can be quite tricky birds, especially. You just have to keep tossing up in the air and hope they fall right, and then keep finicking about. What are you doing here? I'm not after you, I'm not after geese, I'm after pheasants. Let's go and collect this female one. For the competition, you can actually shoot them on the ground as well, and that does count. So if it's just for the competition, you can run around shooting them on the ground, which is a lot easier. But I'm actually doing this as a pheasant hunting guide. I will be shooting them, missing some on purpose to show you certain things as well. So sometimes it'll be on purpose, sometimes it won't be. We'll see. But as you can see, we've gone to the right of our arrow, but you can go left. It doesn't matter. Just check all these fields, and you should end up with plenty of pheasants just covering those areas. Right, let's move on to the next field. And when you're running about, sometimes you can spook things, and it's a good bonus, especially for pheasants, because they will fly and glide like this. And it's the reason you can run around with a shotgun and just have a laugh. Sometimes it can be quite tense on Hunter Classic, and you've got your eyes bulging, looking at every morsel. And so this is a nice little release actually of pheasant hunting. You can just run around with your shotgun, blast things. It don't really matter if you miss a couple of shots, because all the pheasants will do is they'll just glide onto the next little cornfield, and you can just watch where they've gone. That is a good tip actually. When they spook, you see them fly off, just watch where they glide to the next location, and then you can just go up and they'll probably crouch down and you can shoot them again. So don't worry if you lose one, especially if it's a big one. Just watch when it flies where it goes, and you should be able to locate it again. I have actually got a 10 on this field, and it's normally where I start at, but I've done the guide, so new players especially who haven't got tents or the currency yet can just start from the lodge and walk straight onto these fields. So it's up to you. If you've got the tents, put a tent in this field because you get a lot of pheasant here, and geese. I've got my geese set up here, but this is really good for pheasants. You often get a lot of them just squatting down as soon as you spawn in, so you can run up, sometimes kill 5 or 6 within the first minute of starting. And as you can see, I'm just running straight behind them. You can flush them if you want by pressing F, and you make a little whistle, and then the birds will fly up and you shoot them. This works for bird species if you want them to go up in the air off the ground, because obviously if you shoot them in the air, that's when they count on the leaderboard. So that's one of the reasons you want to do the air shots. But as you can see, really simple. Run up to the birds, blast with a shotgun. I know they're only females, most of them, but it's just good fun. And like I say, sometimes you just need a bit of a run and gun to take away from the hours of sweating you've done after that trophy animal. And sometimes you'll get really big pheasants doing this as well, so don't think this isn't a way of getting big pheasants, because it is. Also, when you're running around these fields and shooting, you might spook a pheasant, or they might fly over towards you or by you as you're running around. So listen for flapping wings in the air, and if you hear that, turn around or try and locate where you hear the flapping wings, because the pheasant will glide and you'll often get a shot at it when it's doing this gliding. I've just located another male down this bottom left corner. We shoot him, and then we'll go and check some other fields. What's your favourite weapon for hunting pheasants? Drop in the comments. Is it a shotgun? Is it the Plinkington? Is it the grasshopper? What do you hunt pheasants with? There is no wrong answer to this, just what is your favourite weapon to hunt them. Mine is the 12 gauge pump action shotgun. It's just so good, it's so versatile, it's got a brilliant red dot, here it is, and it's just so easy to use. It's one of the best guns in the game, one of the best weapons in the game. If I had to name my best weapons in the game, a lot of people ask this, it would be the 300 rifle, this shotgun, snakebite bow. That combo of those three cover literally everything. Really good weapons, and all rounders, just always good at everything you do. So as you can see, you can walk literally up to them, can spook them if they want. Let's swap to this shotgun, 3-1. I'm using the 3-1 just to show the free players that you can kill the pheasants with this. It's not bad or anything, it just takes a little bit of practice and you can kill them. The only downside really is it can only use one shell at a time. That's the only problem over like the 12 gauge pump action shotgun. But it's a free gun, so you have to have some kind of limitation, don't you, really? That's what you do, but they are quite capable, and like I say, you can take numerous pheasants with it, but it's a good starting point. There we go, near my geese blind we've also got another pheasant. So as you can see, I'm just running around blasting pheasants willy-nilly, and we know the guide works. So I'm doing missions along the way as well, so make sure you add your missions in while you're doing this pheasant hunting, because you'll get extra GMS for those that are after currency. Pheasants aren't really too high scoring, but you can obviously get a lot of them, so it mounts up. But if you're doing missions tied in with that as well, then you get even more bonus. So try and do missions when you're hunting a certain species for GMS, because you get the animals GMS plus you get the mission rewards GMS, and it all adds up. Where is he? He's around here sometimes. Sometimes it can be a little hard to see like that. And you don't always hit them. So don't worry if you miss them like that. Because what you want to be doing is watching where it's going, and it'll soon settle down. So he's flew twice and he's just going to hover down and hopefully he lands somewhere around there and stays calm. There you go. He hasn't flew anymore. We know where he is. So even though you bodged that shot up, or I bodged that shot up, we can run straight over and get him again. When it's a big pheasant especially, and you miss it and you get a bit sweaty, you're like, oh no, I blew my chance. Don't worry about it. Like I say, watch where the pheasant goes, then just go over and get him again. And sometimes you'll have pheasants fly the opposite way and you can get him this way, or you might miss him again, just like that. But you just wait for him to land, like we're saying. They fly up in the air and then they glide and then they'll settle. It might not be on this field, it might be the next one, but if you just watch where they go, and you should be able to locate them again. There you go, settle down, and that'll probably just squat next time you run over there to shoot it. How has your hunting been going in the Hunter Classic? Have you had any big trophies this week? Drop them in the comments. I always like to hear about if you've had a rare, non-typical, some special trophy animal you've been after ages for your trophy lodge. Drop that in the comments, whether it's for the Hunter Classic or the Hunter Call of Wild. The Hunter Call of Wild, I've been smashing the last week or so. I've really put in some time on the Hunter Classic and Hunter Call of Wild trophy hunting recently, like extra than normal, and it's been paying off. And I've got a few of the trophy animals I've been after for months and months, like 6 months plus, where I've been hunting them daily, and I've ended up bagging a few of them, a jackal especially in the Hunter Call of Wild. I was after that for 9-7 months every day, and I actually got a diamond one, so I was really happy with that. That pleased me. A rare pheasant would actually be one of my favourite trophies in the Hunter Classic, and maybe I might get one this weekend. I am going to be hammering it a little bit while this competition is on, and it would be nice if we could get an albino one or the green one, but fingers crossed, you never know. That's the great thing about the Hunter Classic, you never know what's going to pop up next. It could be a trophy you've been after for 5 years plus, and it could be on the next corner, field, tree. You know what I mean? It could be the next animal you've seen. That's the beauty about the Hunter Classic. You just don't know when it's coming. There is some really good trophies I've had before the trophy lodges came out, and it's a shame you can't get them retrospective from what you've killed. I've shot a lot of albino variations, non-typicals, this, that of other species, but like I say, they were before the lodges was out, so I can't actually put all those in what I shot previously. But I have done the videos over the years, so if you want to see some really early footage of trophy animals and stuff, of rares and that, check out some of my older stuff as well, and you will see a lot what I'm talking about. If you want to know what I'm also working on at the moment, I'm doing a magpie goose guide for 2020. I'm doing an updated one of those, doing this guide. I'm doing some Call of Wild stuff as well, so plenty in the editing room being done. Go, another victim, falling like flies with the 12 gauge pump shot. It is just such a great gun, one of the best additions I think to the game weapons wise. It's always good when you add something that you really want and it becomes useful. We've had new people for the Hunter Classic team recently, so maybe we'll get a new reserve. Who knows what could happen in the future? I hope so. We'll maybe get new animals. What would you like to see new animals wise or new content wise for the Hunter Classic? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see a big dangerous cat either on a new reserve or on a current reserve. If we had a reserve we could put a big cat on, where could we put that? I don't know, but I would love to hunt something dangerous. I think something dangerous added to the Hunter Classic could add a different element to the hunting. Another pheasant flying off. Reserve wise, where would you have? I'd like somewhere different, but there's so many locations where you could have new reserves that it's hard to put down where you would actually make next. Africa, it happened on Call of Wild, you never know, it could have changed from how it used to be. You never know, that may happen. I'd love to see that. Imagine if the announcers working in Africa, that'd be like, whoa, that'd blow everyone's socks off. So you never know what could happen next, so I wish and I hope that some new reserves are being made or thought about, or new animals are being made. It'll be interesting to see what does happen with the Hunter Classic as it progresses. It's doing well at the moment and it's really thriving. The amount of people playing at the minute since it's gone free to play has rocketed. We're like at levels like from 5 years back, like that kind of high peak. We're at those kind of numbers now, so it's absolutely doing really well, and free to play has really helped with that. And if you're a new player watching this and you're not sure whether to try it, give it a try. It's free to play on Steam. It's not a very big download. It's a great game to play. You don't really need a super iron PC either to play it. And there's lots of pheasants. We've done quite well actually. Normally when you hit that record button all the animals vanish, and sometimes you don't really know what goes into making some of these videos. Like earlier on I was doing a picture for one of the pheasants, and I like to try and get it in the sun so it looks as good, vibrant as possible, because it might be a possible thumbnail picture. And I'm not lying, it rained for 30 minutes, so I had to wait 30 minutes to get the one trophy shot, which will be the thumbnail. So sometimes imagine you're after an animal or something and you get like that 4 or 5 times in a row. That takes a lot of time, which you didn't probably think about when it's a shortish video, but some hours can go into that very quickly. They start to mount up. So we shot that on the ground. It was just a small one, and we're just running around. Basically, we're just showing you that at the locations where I told you there is pheasants, and they're easy to get. So it doesn't matter if you use the free shotgun, if you haven't got a tent, you know the locations where they are, and you can just run around. So you ain't got to creep around, you don't need much game knowledge. All you need to know is this is the location to come. You come with your free shotgun and you can blast pheasants, and you get GMS. And if you put in full hours, and these people who are playing the competition are going to full sweat grind it all week, some will go deep, full in. They're going to have like 12 pots of coffee and they're going to hunt all day and night. But you can just play for fun if you want. You don't have to be super serious like that, but if you want to, there's that as well. There's always two sides of the coin. Just do what you want to do and just have fun. That's the main thing. As long as you have fun, whatever way you do it, that's all that matters. Been asking recently if you want to see any other video games on my channel. Drop it in the comments. It doesn't matter what game you may think. If it's entertaining, drop it in the comments. I'll give it a look. Like I say, if a lot of people want to see me play other games and do guides or just fun videos on it, drop it in the comments. I'm open to all suggestions. I do play a lot of other various games. It's just I only mainly record for the Hunter games. I do car racing games as well, but I do that on my other channel. So on this channel I want to keep this to do with ronMctube. The other one is to do a dirt rally. I do basically testing to do with handling. I set world records and stuff with car games. On that channel that's DGZO, and ronMctube I do mainly hunting, but I'm willing to open up the ronMctube channel to other games. It's like I say, it just depends what people want to see really, and if there's enough of the same sort of answers and comments on a certain game, then I may give it a go. There is other hunting games and other fishing games. I do like fishing, fished all my life, so it's quite a big thing to me. And like I say, I've tried a few of them before and done quite a few fishing videos on different fishing video games. So just drop in the comments if there's something you think that could be entertaining, and I'll give it a look. So we've done another mission. Like I say, do the missions while you're doing your hunting, and it's surprising how many you can get done just randomly hunting around. So good luck in the Pheasant Cacciatore Wedding Frenzy competition. It runs all weekend. Give it a try. Hope you bag loads of them. I hope you find some rares or a monster pheasant. We've just been mainly focusing on location and how to get the pheasants. It's not about trophy pheasants today. You will get trophy pheasants following this guide, no doubt about it. That's the thing to learn with animals: location, how to get them, and then it's just basically time and luck whether you get monster ones or rare ones. So that hopefully I've really helped the new players, especially who hunt pheasant, how to get them. And drop in the comments if you get any nice pheasants while you're doing this guide or over the weekend. I do like to hear about that. That's not a bad one, it's not a monster one, but he will do, and he will be our last pheasant of this video. We've done really well. How many we shot? 15 maybe, 15 to 20 in about half an hour on this route is about right. Sometimes it will vary, it'll be a little less, sometimes it'll be a little more. That's a variation of the Hunter Classic working. You can't help that, but that's the one thing that makes this game great. You never know what's going to come next. So we're going to drop in with a 12 gauge pump action shotgun, stand behind him, wait for him to go, and blast. One little tip I'll give you before we go is don't shoot them too early off the ground, because sometimes it will be off the ground but it will still give you ground. So try and let it get up a little bit before shooting it in the air. especially with a big pheasant. You don't want that happening. So here we go. What's this one score? It's a bit bigger than the usual stamp, nearly 27. So that's been me, ronMctube. We've been doing a pheasant hunting guide for 2020. Hope it works out for you. I've shown you lots of locations where to get them and how to get them very easily. It should work out for you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, and thanks for watching. Bye bye, and good luck in the pheasant comp.